Entrepreneurs, get ready. Get ready. Turn this up. Welcome to the Impact Over Everything podcast with Beez and Van. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Impact Over Everything, where we challenge everything.
And we stand for something so we don't fall for anything. Man, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it, bro. This has been a crazy week, man. I seen your post that you put on IG, bro. And ever since you made that post, I just been like, man, I can't wait for this podcast so we could dive into this thing, man. Let the people know what we talking about, man, for those that didn't see your Instagram post this week.
Bro, man, that thing was it's a special post to me. It really was important to me, right? Like, and this one was done by me. The graphics was done by my team, of course, but specifically every aspect of it, I was like, listen, this is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to reflect. And then I'm going to write the caption because it's important. So just to explain, last week sometime, I just happened to come across an article that said the new richest man in the world, right? Because it fluctuates here and there. And then it was this guy, his name is Bernard Arnault. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, I don't know. But when I was looking at it, I was like, he seems familiar, but I didn't know for sure who he was. Then I looked into it a little bit more. I was like, oh, LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, right? This is the guy who is just overtaken Elon Musk, overtaken Jeff Bezos, right? Now, for me, it was like, wait a minute, Elon Musk, he's changing the world, right? Tesla, SpaceX, he's trying to help humanity. So you can understand someone like that ends up as the richest man in the world, right? It's not just like he's selling bags on the street or something. Jeff Bezos, same thing. I mean, it's really shifted our entire culture, everything. If we don't get something delivered in 2 days, it's like, oh, we ain't gonna deal with it no more, right? Mm-hmm. But this guy, Bernard Arnault, what does he do? All he is a luxury brand designer. He owns Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, Hermes, and a bunch of other luxury brands, right? And it hurt me to think, like, wow, who is some of his main target audience? The Black community. And then I started looking deeper, and I saw that in 2020, he had record profits fueled by two areas: China purchasing a lot and the Black community. Again, worldwide, it's not only in America. And it kind of made me feel a way, man. It made me feel like, okay, hold on. The dollar only circulates in the Black community for about 6 hours. It circulates in the Jewish community, if I remember correctly, something like 17 days. I might be a little bit off on the number. The Asian community is a little bit higher than that. And I'm not even gonna mention the white community at all, but just, you can see the trend here. And yet we were able to make this guy into the richest man in the world. I don't know, bro, that doesn't sit right with me. You and I have spoken many times about people who are like, how much is that course? Oh, I don't want to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't want to spend money on things, especially when they know it's from their own community. They tend to be like distrustful of it. They tend to be like, is this a scam? What's going on? Where they may be a little bit more inclined to move forward with a purchase like that if it was someone outside of the community, right? But yet, imagine if only a portion of the money that we put into these brands was put into our own brands, into help building up our own community, into keeping that dollar circulating in our own community. I don't know, bro. What do you think, man? Because this hit me hard, man. It hit me hard, and I had to put it out there, and I see what people start saying.
I'm gonna hit it from two angles. So the first angle is, why does the dollar in the Black community only last for 6 hours? I'm gonna rewind it back just to the last year, all right, since COVID happened. when all of this funding has come to the Black community, with people not having to work, getting this unemployment, sitting at home, getting thousands of dollars to sit at home. People that did have businesses getting these loans, PPP grants, things of those natures, money that necessarily they didn't have to work for that came to their accounts. During a time to where a lot of people were struggling, not being able to work, business closing down, there was an influx of money that came into the Black community from basically the government, right? Quote unquote, what I hear all the time, man, you ain't got none of that free money. Man, you ain't got none of that free money that's out. So anytime you get something quick and you feel like it's free, or you feel like it's something that you didn't earn, fast money leaves faster than you got it. So the mindset that I've seen and noticed being on social media, being at malls at times, being out and about, is that, well, it's free money, so let me just buy the things that I desire to buy and that I haven't been able to necessarily go out and create real businesses and real revenue and income to earn. So I'm gonna buy things that never before I've been able to buy because, quote unquote, I got this free money. So people are getting this money and then they're going out to your Louis Vuittons and things of those natures, buying things that they can't afford, that they have no business buying. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people in our community that have participated in this. And I'm not speaking from theory, I'm speaking reality. And that post of this guy becoming the richest man in the world proves the concept of what I'm saying. He did this in the last year since all this money's came in. Now I'm gonna hit it from a different angle prior to COVID and all this extra money that came into the community. And I'm gonna be vulnerable myself with this. So when you don't know your worth, when you're trying to keep up with what we see to be fashionable or what we see to be something that makes it seem like as if you have money, you go out and you try to copy what you see to give yourself that value of, hey, I'm able to go buy Louis Vuitton loafers and a belt and a shirt. Look at me, I got money, I've made it. Regardless of if you made it or not, you feel you've made it because you've been able to go purchase these things, and it gives you certain value of self-worth. But where that comes from is us not loving ourselves and us feeling like we need external validation to make us feel a certain way. And I've been in those stages before when I was younger, in my 20s, when I was working, I was grinding, I was on paper, I was, making a good amount of money. I would buy those things to make it seem like I was doing better than what I actually was. And it made me feel a certain way when I can step out in those type of high-end, high fashion things. But at the end of the day, I was struggling. I was living check to check. I had no investments going. I was hustling in my business and my side businesses away from work. But I bought those things to make it appear that I was successful. And the mindset that I've witnessed, I'm only going off my experience now. So whoever don't agree, I'm just going off my experience and what I've seen, that we are validated by these things. And when you see the people in our communities, quote unquote, leaders in our communities, from the rappers, from the entrepreneurs that are doing things at a high level, from the, successful professional athletes, they're wearing these type of clothes, they're popping these type of bottles, showing that this is what success is. But, most of them, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them don't show how to go get investments, how to get your money right, how to, have things that you could do to grow your business. They just show, hey, this is what success is, being able to go buy high fashion, being able to pop bottles, being able to do these things. And this is what we grew up watching. So the second that we get a little bit of extra money in our pocket, we go chase these things and we go into these stores and feel like, all right, I made it, I got it. So I think that's the narrative. That's what I've seen. I fell victim to that in the past. And I think that's why this man has become the richest man in the world, because of this narrative and this culture that's built in our community. And it's unfortunate, but I know that you and me specifically are doing something about it. We're changing the narrative. We're educating people. We're giving people the understanding that wearing other people's brands, especially when it comes to these high fashion, is not the way to go, and that you should build your own brand and promote your own brand and support other people that look like you, that might not look like you, but are small businesses that are coming up and, giving them that love and that support. So that's what I think about it, bro.
I feel you, bro. Listen, you know the thing about that though is that with all that free money that was coming in, I mean, it pains me to say like if it was only our community, right? Because think about it. There was even that time. Remember what happened with Reddit and the stocks, AMC, GameStop and whatnot. All of the good old boys in Wall Street was like, all of these people getting their, PPP money and whatever and their government checks and things. So now they think they're investors. Well, I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, at least you was taking the money and going and investing in some stuff, right? But wow, man, during a pandemic when so many people were laid off, and you mean to tell me that the main focus after getting some relief money that was much needed just went into feeding the pockets of the ultra rich already? And my thing is, bro, I mean, for our listeners right now on the radio, they can't see, but I mean, look, I'm wearing Credit is the Big Homie, right? I'm wearing that brand right now. That's not even my brand.
Yeah, big shout out to my man Jeremy on Instagram at the Trapper's Way Out, man. My man wearing your brand. Go ahead, bro. Give him a shout out. Credit
for sure, for sure. Making it happen. I'm wearing my boys' brand. Yesterday I was wearing your brand, man. You know what I'm saying? I always keep my hat on, my own hat, but I wear everybody else's brand, right? Everybody else that I'm supporting, that I'm rocking with, right? Now, mind you, I understand if, okay, some of our friends are multimillionaires, some 8 figures and such, right? And okay, you got that type of money, then you decide to go buy some Louis or whatever it may be. I mean, I can't get too mad at them for it, but why do we value that so much? Like the same piece of cloth that, is with a Louis stamp on it, we can see the exact same thing, same quality, same everything, color, shape, size, whatever, with a different brand name on it. And it's like, nah, we don't want that. And I don't understand, because I'm happy with this. Now, mind you, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm perfect or nothing. I'm not trying to talk down against nobody because, I used to buy me, a lot of Nike, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't spending thousands of dollars on it, you know what I mean? And then, even when I used to buy a lot of Jordans, I'd be like, dang, it's $200, $300 and all of that. I still felt a little bit better because it was Jordan. I mean, it still was Nike. They own Jordan, but at least he had some part of the brand and had, ownership within it. So supporting that at least felt a little bit better to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly the same. It's not fully his, like Master P right now. Master P putting out some brand name food, clothes, slippers, book bags, all types of stuff. He putting out all types of things right now. And why aren't we supporting that? You know what I mean? Why aren't more entertainers, athletes, whatever it may be, pushing things like their own brand? As much as we ain't like LeVar Ball for a variety of reasons, man, that dude, I respect him like crazy. Big baller brand all day, yo. If you're gonna put out your brand and he gonna go big with it, and then he gonna, do everything. Everybody was like, dang, he charging a whole lot of money for them sneakers. But, at least he had a brand. And why he was willing to pay $1,000 for that Louis bag, but not pay the $300 or however much the big baller brand sneakers was. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. It really gets to me. But I think the most important thing is that we not just try to change the narrative about, you don't need to do those things, but we need the right people with the right platforms advocating for it as well. You know what I'm saying? We need someone like a Jay-Z to be like, yo, he gonna start rapping, he gonna throw them bars and he gonna mention Credit is the Big Homie or mention Hustle the Entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking that Hustle the Entrepreneur shirt with the gold flings on us. You know what I'm saying? Throw something out like that. That's what we need, man. That's what we need, because that's what the people will see. That's what the kids will see. And then it'll change the direction to what they feel is necessary to show that they've made it, in essence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, too, I'm gonna hit it from another angle when it comes to building a brand. So Louis Vuitton has built a brand. They built a high fashion, a high class brand with ultimate customer service. Everything is top notch. I would say and recommend to people that you take notes, right? So everybody thinks Kanye West is crazy, but the man has built a $1 billion brand. $1 billion brand. And he's done it by going all in on his brand to where he was broke at one point. I think 3 years ago, he was in debt like 50 million, building his brand and doing his thing. And now the dude is a billionaire.
I don't know if people think you just saying that. He has literally built a billion with a B dollar brand. So it ain't no cap here. This is serious.
No. Yeah, it's serious. But 3 years ago, and maybe even less, maybe two, he was in debt 50 million. But he didn't stop. He didn't say, oh man, this shit didn't work out. Let me tap out. My girl got money. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making money from my music. I'm good. Nah, he kept going in. He made it happen. He made the right business moves. He was all in on his brand. He was all in on his vision. People thought he was crazy. He didn't went to the hospital. People think he's just a nutcase, but the man is smart. And he went all in on his brand, and now he's a billionaire. So what I would suggest to everyone out there that's kind of like, well, shit, how can I build my own brand? How can I be like Louis Vuitton? Study Kanye West. Study what he's done. Study the things that he had to go through. Take a look at his trials, his tribulations, the things that he had to work through to get his point to $1 billion brand. That's an African-American, came from the ghetto, came from nothing, came from all the things that he's had to deal with, and he's been able to prosper through those things and build $1 billion brand. Everyone that wants impact in the world, that wants people to look at them as the authority in their space, look at them as someone that I would say is an expert, should be building their own brand. It doesn't necessarily have to be a clothing brand, but you should be building your own brand when it comes to your company, when it comes to your services, when it comes to the things that you're doing for the community, when it comes to, if you do have a product, you have to build it, but there's going to be hardships. There's going to be times to where you're going to fall on your face. There's going to be times to where you might not be as successful as you want to be, but you got to keep pursuing and going through it. But the fastest way to not build a brand is to be tricking off your money at Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, popping bottles on the weekend. That's the fastest way to not build a brand. And I think that's the thing that I wanted to highlight. Just start and keep going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, and there's two things there, right? Because one is, if you're going to spend that money and, go crazy with spending on some luxury items, because, everybody, whatever, you want to reward yourself, as long as you got your finances right first. But if you want to reward yourself, it's cool. What I'm just hoping is that we spend that more in our community. So what Van is telling y'all is 100%. You could learn from Kanye, but also support Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Kanye got mad money, but at least we supporting in our community, right? If, on my caption of the post, I put how the black buying power was 1.4 trillion in 2019. And for perspective, that's higher than the GDP of Mexico, right? And it's projected to continue growing to, I think, 1.8 trillion in the next 2 years, right? So between 2000 and 2018, the black buying power rose 114%, right? But yet none of it stays in our community. So that's what I mean. There's two things there. There's, okay, be financially literate and don't just be, spending out that money if you don't got it. If you do got it, okay, you want to get some luxuries, but why not consider our own community or build your own brand and say, hey, I'm going to build this for our community so that we can spend in our community, because, for whatever reason, the stigma is there where we, a lot of people feel like, oh, if it's not, Louis or some white man's thing, then I don't want to spend money on it. So yeah, we got to do better in both sides of that. And I know I'm going to make it a personal mission of mine to help that cause along. How about you, my friend?
I definitely am. So this is what I want to do for everybody that hears this episode. If you shoot me a DM on Instagram at @thevantaylor1, I'm going to support 10 entrepreneurs this week. Send me a link to your, if you got some gear, if you got something for sale, send me the link and I'm going to make a purchase from 10 entrepreneurs this week. I'm going to post it on my Instagram profile. I'm going to support 10 entrepreneurs. You ain't got to be black. I don't care if you white, Mexican, Asian. It's not about I just want to support entrepreneurs that's out here doing their thing. And we're going to lead from the front on this one. Impact Over Everything podcast is going to support 10 entrepreneurs this week. And we're going to purchase some items from your guys' store. So please send over your links, what you got. And we'll be reposting that on our Impact Over Everything Instagram. If you guys are not following us on Instagram, please follow us right now at Impact Over Everything Podcast on Instagram. And my man Beez, drop your Instagram so people know where to follow you at and where to find you.
For sure. Y'all can find me, Business Builder Beez, and that's Beez with a Z, right? You can catch me there. You can catch me on Impact Over Everything podcast on IG. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We're on every streaming app out there. Listen, you can't miss us.
Absolutely. And guys, we obviously don't have a fee for this podcast. So the only cost of this podcast is if you got some value or if you feel that this could help somebody else out by listening to positive things every week, please share our podcast with a couple people, have them subscribe on all the streaming platforms, follow us on all of our Instagram pages so everybody can be tapped into positivity and we can build out this community. Guys, that's the only fee for this podcast. Share it to other people that you want to hear get in this game. So one thing that I wanted to add to this topic is that this guy that made it to the richest man in the world at the moment, like, should we clap for him? Should we be like how, what's the feeling like about this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause at the end of the day, he capitalized. So I'm not hating on another man at all. And he became the richest man in the world. So I don't want people to feel like we hating on the dude. So what's the vibe about this man that actually made it to be the richest man in the world, somewhat off the backs of the black community?
Yeah, and that's all it is for me, bro. I don't hate on anybody, like you just said, man. Yeah. We ain't hating on nobody. Yo, do your thing. I just feel that, okay, if our community is supporting him so much and he's not also supporting us in any way, then maybe we should support someone else. That's all I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't give back to the black community. He don't really do much. And maybe I'm wrong. I did my research prior to this episode just to see if there was something. Maybe he had some outreach programs. Maybe he was doing some philanthropic work that was going back into the black community. I ain't find nothing. So that's all I'm saying is, listen, if he's not pouring back even a percentage into our communities, then maybe we should consider something else. And the crazy thing is he owns every single brand that is a part of our culture, right? Like, how many people say, hey, what we drinking tonight? Some Henny? Right? You know what I'm saying? How many people talking about Moet? Maybe not as much anymore, I don't know, but Moet still was always something big, right? How many people talking about Christian Dior? How many people talking about Louis, Hermes, so much more. Every single one of those high ticket brands is owned by this guy, and it's in our rap songs, it's in our movies, it's in we adopt the name of those as like tag names to be like, yo, I'm Mr. Louis, I'm Mr. whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, that is enough for me to be like, yo, we gotta rethink, reassess a little bit of what we're really doing in the community. And we can't leave tonight without giving some sort of action plan. Like, I like to do that at the end of every session. What are some action items that we're going to take and that hopefully you guys could take as well?
Yeah. So we definitely not hating on him at all. Congrats to him. He capitalized. But this is what I will say about everybody listening in on this topic and this narrative of the dollar only stays in the black community for 6 hours. What is it that makes us not want to spend money with our own people? Analyze that, assess that, like, okay, why didn't I get the Credit Kingpin shirt when I seen him wearing his shirt and he had shirts for sale? Why didn't I get the Hustle the Entrepreneur shirt when they had shirts for sale? Why didn't I get the assets over liability shirt when I seen they had shirts for sale? Same material, just as cool, looks nice, whatever the case may be. Ask yourself that. Or ask yourself this: why didn't I support this person when I know he was an expert in his space and he had a course on something that I wanted to learn and get more guidance on? Why did I decide to go to college for X amount of dollars in debt when I could have learned from this person here that had this course, this mentorship that could have taught me how to make XYZ in this time frame? Why didn't I do that, right? And ask yourself that and be real with yourself when you come to the answer. And then from there, say, okay, how could I change the narrative if I feel a certain way about XYZ? What can I do to be able to change maybe the things that made me make those decisions? So for me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to consistently keep pushing my brand, Hustler the Entrepreneur. I'm going to keep pushing our podcast, Impact Over Everything. I'm going to keep pushing your brand, Capital Beez, Finance, all the other millions of companies you got. People want to come to Miami. They want exotics. They want cars. I'm going to consistently keep pushing your brand and pushing people to you. Consistently keep pushing my man Marcus's brand, Recession Proof, and all of these other people that have things to offer to the community. I'm going to consistently keep pushing their brands. And if I can't help you, I'm going to push you to someone that I know can help you. That's not Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, all these, that's what I'm going to do. So Beez, what you going to do to change the narrative and do your part?
Well, what I want to emphasize more is actually something we're already doing, right? And that's speaking it into existence, right? That's talking about it regularly, using our platform to bring light to it, right? Now, I want to take it to that next level because you already know that we're working on something called Hive Community, right? So Hive Community, we're trying to bring all these entrepreneurs together on a regular basis, networking, talking about things, so I can know more about what other brands are out there, what other services are out there that we can tap into and support. Not just support a Black business, but adopt a Black business, right? I want to make sure that we are there, and there's no question about where you're going to purchase that next item from, because you already know where it's coming from. I think what could contribute to us not supporting has been the lack of knowledge of what exists out there, right? Now, I know there's some databases that have started collecting things like, Black-owned business database, so you can know, hey, go support this, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like it's just it's still not known enough. It's still more like, the concept of you have to opt in rather than opt out, right? Like, meaning you don't know what's going on, so you have to go and find what's going on instead of it already being in front of you, so you're just tapping in. So I want it to be in front of everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make every effort I can to find out what's in the community. What services do our people have that they're offering, that they're, what things they're selling. And I'm gonna push it everywhere I can. And I'm gonna use Hive Community to help to perpetuate it at least within my region to start. And then hopefully that concept, that energy, that fire spreads throughout the rest of the country, throughout the rest of the world eventually.
Absolutely. One of the things that I wanted to add when it comes to people in the community that are leaders, right? And people in the community, it could, the entrepreneurs that are doing big things, the athletes that are doing big things. How can we get them to say, you know what? We understand that the money is not staying in the Black community or in the minority communities. We do have a platform. We do have a voice. Let's all come together and change the narrative about this. And maybe we don't be as flamboyant as we've been when it comes to these other designer labels that aren't paying us $1 to promote their stuff. And from the people that see us and look up to us, understanding our power and understanding that what people see is what they will follow. So if they see me going into Louis and posting it on my Instagram, walking out with the orange bags in Louis, you got 8 bags and you just spent 20, 30 bands, that's not the best example for somebody that's working a 9-to-5, that's trying to get out of the rat race, feeling like that's the level of success that they got to be at for people to listen to them. So they don't build their brand. They don't start that brand. They don't start that business because they don't feel they have the influence that this other person has, because he's being able to show all these luxury items on his Instagram and his social media. And it prevents people from actually starting because they feel handicapped by that they don't have that level of success to show so many people say, man, well, I haven't started because I don't have the nice car. I don't have the nice, designer clothes. I don't have the nice house. So why is anybody going to listen to me when we have all these other influencers out here that are doing this and doing that, and I can't show those things? So for these influencers to know that people are watching them, and that narrative that they're showing is possibly hindering people from actually feeling like they can start. Agreed.
I don't know if you saw earlier today, our guy Marcus M500, he met with Steve Stout, and EYL actually interviewed him. I posted a comment saying, yo, I love seeing that. I love seeing Marcus with Steve Stout. Steve Stout is responsible for a lot that has happened, in the music industry, in the entrepreneurial industry, to some big names. So my comment was something along the lines of, we need to see more meetings of the minds of people of that level of influence coming together, having some sort of round table. It's a state of the Black Union, something like that, where we're coming together and saying, what can we do and how can we change these things? But I'm talking about, not just the Beez and the Vans. I'm talking about, them heavy hitters. I don't have that pull just yet. One day I will, because I'm going to bring all those people together, right? If we can't find a way to do it right now, I'm going to make sure that it happens eventually, because those people are going to be the ones that's going to have the most impact on our youth, in a widespread manner, to help to start changing that perception of what is valued. Because, I ain't saying don't rock out, don't, flaunt your success, but just represent the community a little bit better, keep that money going in, help each other to build up. I mean, that's why we talk about impact over everything, and why we talk about collaboration over competition. This ain't just fluff, it's real life. So we live in it, and we want to make sure that others see that, so that they choose to live the same way.
Absolutely. So guys, listen, this was another episode of Impact Over Everything, where we challenge everything, right, my man?
Yes,
we challenge everything.
We challenge it all.
And we stand for something, so we don't fall for anything. So listen, guys, follow us on all the streaming platforms. We on everything. iCloud. I mean, what is it? iTunes, Spotify, all of it. You can find us on all streaming platforms. But Van, before we go, we still a entrepreneur business podcast, so we gotta give at least one fire nugget, something. Business related. We gotta give it, because we're talking something serious. It's powerful, but we gotta also get them some of that sauce, as our guy Nick loves to say. Let's do it.
Let's see. What should we give them? What should we give them, brother? I'm thinking just a little bit about the BOA play, since a lot of people have been asking about that anyway. What you think?
Man, we've been running it up. Let's do it. Go ahead. Let's give it to him.
Listen, and this goes to show, we are trying to pass along all the information that we find. Right? We ain't just hoarding it for ourselves. Some people will be like, "Oh, I'm only going to tell you if you join my mentorship." Bro, this is free information, right? But you got to act on it. So you already know, I already locked down Miami with the car rental game. My guy Van is starting up to lock down Vegas with the car rental game. So now it's all about, how do you get multiple cars in order to rent them out on Turo, direct rentals, a hire car, whatever it may be, right? So one play that we've been passing along to everybody is the BOA play. Now, we often talk about credit unions being the better financial institutions to deal with, and they really are. However, don't discount all of the big banks just yet, especially Bank of America. If you're interested in the whole car rental game, Bank of America will give you up to 4 auto loans. It's called their Business Advantage Auto Loan. Up to 4 in each LLC, each business entity that you have, with virtually no questions. Now, if you don't even have a bank account with them, though, they may ask a couple of quick things. But if you do have a bank account with them, your business could have started yesterday, and you got your EIN, and then open up a bank account yesterday, and they'll still give you without barely any questions. And you could get 4 loans with 1 inquiry, and those loans will be in your business name, so it doesn't affect your personal credit. right? And then if you got multiple LLCs like me and Van do, you could run it up again in another LLC. So listen, I don't know if y'all was ready for that, but that's a big play. A lot of people been getting a lot of assets, not liabilities anymore, because we turning those hunks of metal on the road into assets now, producing revenue for us, generating cash, and we get to drive what we want.
Absolutely. Let me take it a step further. So if you have at least, what would it say, 680 credit score, no derogatories, no lates, no lates, no derogatories, you got at least a 680 credit score. They only pull Experian. So if your TransUnion ain't looking good, it's all right. If your Equifax ain't looking too good, as long as your Experian score is 680, no derogatories, no lates, you have a LLC, you can run the play. Now you might be thinking, well, what I'm gonna do with 4 auto loans? What the hell am I gonna do with 4 auto loans? Let me give you an example. A Chevy Spark is no more than, I want to say, a used Chevy Spark is under 10K basically. You go get 4 Chevy Sparks. A Chevy Spark right now on Turo is generating anywhere from, I'm gonna lowball it, $2,500 to $3,000 a month in a few markets that I know about: Vegas, Arizona, Atlanta. I don't know what they're doing in Miami, Beez, but in those 3 markets, they're doing $2,500 to $3,000 a month profit over the payment. The payment, if you didn't, is not going to be more than $300 a month. I'm going to go on the high end, $300 a month. And that's if you get like a 24-month, 36-month term. If you go 60 months on a Chevy Spark, you're talking about like $200, right? So you're able to 10x your car payment. You get 4 Chevy Sparks on the road at $2,500 a month, even $2,000 a month. You're talking about a 6-figure income from this play, $8,000 a month, right? Let's say you say, you know what, I ain't got the time to be running no cars and pickups, drop-offs, and I just don't got the time. You could send some cars to someone like Beez or someone like myself, and we could run the cars for you. Now you're talking about a partnership. And now, even if you only made $1,000 a month after the partnership on 4 cars that you completely don't got to deal with, now you're bringing home $4,000 a month. It's not showing on your personal credit.
Yep.
What could you do with an additional $4,000 a month? Let's go back to what we just talked about. What would $4,000 do a month for your brand that you want to build? For the companies that you are doing right now, the things that you want to do to implement within your business? What would that do for you? An additional $4,000 passive dollar amount to your business. It would help, right? Let's say you just wanted to pay your rent or your mortgage or the car you really want to drive. You might want to drive a exotic. You might want to drive a nice luxury vehicle. Well, guess what? Your 4 Chevy Sparks that you got on automation in Miami or Vegas or Atlanta or wherever you decide to put them is going to pay for those vehicles, going to pay for your house. So now your living expenses are completely free. So when you hear plays like this, you can run it down however you want. And like Beez said, if you got 2 LLCs, 3 LLCs, guess what? Now you got 12 Sparks on the road or whatever cars you want. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to highlight that play and to give it a different angle so you guys understand the power of information. If you literally go and use this information, by the end of the week, you could have cars on the road making you money.
Instantly. And as Van said, use this information, because information without execution is just a pipe dream and nothing happening. Right. So we're giving you the plays. We're giving you the scenarios. We're giving you the angles, ways that you could run it up, ways you could get the cars, and then ways you could run it. You just got to execute, make things happen. Right. Because listen, like we said, impact over everything. We challenge everything. Right. And we stand for something so that we never fall for nothing. And it all starts with that information that we need in order to make these decisions.
Remember that video, that reel we did about note takers or money makers?
Yes, sir.
There's a third part of that we didn't highlight that I want to do. I want to do a reel on. So yeah, note takers are money makers, but you have to execute on the notes. Because I know a lot of people that be taking a whole bunch of notes, and them notes just be sitting in a book on their desk with no action. Yeah. They took notes. They can run down the whole play to you. And I'll be like, damn, I saw you at the event. I saw you taking a whole bunch of notes. You asking me about that play. You didn't run the play yet? Oh, no. See, I was waiting for this to happen. I was waiting for that. You know what I'm saying? I just need, like, that doesn't make sense to me. This is here's the thing. When you get knowledge and you understand how to do something and you don't act on it, that's worse than someone that doesn't have the knowledge. You're literally worse than them because you have the knowledge, you know what to do, and you still don't do it. That's worse than someone that doesn't have the knowledge, because there's a lot of people out there that if they knew better, they would do better. They would act on it.
For real.
And you know, and you're not using that information. For all those people out there that know how to get their credit right, and they still got derogatories and lates and inquiries on your credit report, that makes no sense to me. For people that know how to run the car plays and you're not running them, that doesn't make any sense to me. For those of you that's out there with a 780 credit score, 800 credit score, and you just looking at it every day and you're not running no plays with it, that makes no sense to me. So start running these plays. And if you need help, reach out to the people that are running the plays, and don't be scared to partner with other people, to get involved with other people that's in the movement, right? It's okay. Shared money grows. Shared money grows. All the money don't gotta be in your pocket. Because I always tell people, or 0 of 100% is 0, right? Versus 50% of something is better than 0% of nothing.
Yeah, it's better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah, 100% of nothing. 100% of nothing.
Man, for real. But listen, we're not here to preach. We just here to teach and share. Right. So I hope y'all enjoyed what we had to say on this episode of Impact Over Everything with Beez and Van. But I hope you act on everything that you heard on this episode of Impact Over Everything with Beez.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. So listen, bro, literally just while we just talking, this is bro, I don't know if this is the universe or what, but I literally just got a screenshot from somebody that I told about the B of A play. And he just sent me a screenshot that he just got approved for $62,000. Literally just right now. Sir. All right. So listen, we're going to see y'all on the next one. Just wanted to give you that nugget. Take action. Let's go.
Let's go. Catch y'all next week.